The Zylaxian civilization boasted of being the most sophisticated society the cosmos had ever seen. Their translucent, crystalline forms glimmered with an inner, shifting light as they drifted gracefully through their immaculate cities, suspended in the endless clouds of their homeworld. They had unraveled the mysteries of quantum mechanics, when most other species were still fumbling over basic mathematics. To them, faster-than-light travel was as trivial as learning to lace a boot. Yet, for all their unmatched intellect and achievements, there was one rule, one law written into the marrow of galactic history, that even the mighty Zylaxians dared not question. Do not wake the humans. It wasn't that humans looked dangerous. At first glance, they were nothing remarkable. Just soft-bodied, carbon-based creatures who'd barely scraped their way into the realm of interstellar travel before entering their great sleep. Legends claimed they had chosen mass cryosuspension during their Third World War, when their homeworld's resources teetered on the edge of depletion. Entire human fleets now drifted silently through the void, vast, ancient colony ships, each holding millions in a deep, dreamless stasis, while automated systems kept their fragile bodies alive. No one truly knew why the law existed. The warning had been passed down through countless ages, carved into the memory banks of every spacefaring race, translated into every known language. Let them sleep. Chief Science Officer Zylaxians brushed his shimmering appendages over his control panel, calling up a massive holographic projection of the latest human vessel they'd stumbled upon. His crew kept a respectful distance. Protocol demanded no one approach too closely. The ship was ancient, practically a museum piece by Zylaxian standards. Yet something about it set his crystals humming uneasily. "Fascinating species," he murmured, the resonance of his voice vibrating through his crystalline frame. "They look so calm, almost serene. Hard to believe they're the reason for our oldest law." Had he known what was about to happen, his unease would have deepened. It was meant to be a simple survey. At least, that's what Zylaxians would later insist before the Emergency Council. Just a harmless surface scan of the ship's hull. Nothing invasive. Nothing that could possibly go wrong. Unfortunately, his newest junior researcher, Zyx, was less cautious. Fresh from the Galactic Academy with top honors and the boundless arrogance of youth, Zyx had long been obsessed with human biology. The first scan had revealed something unusual about the cryosystems, an efficiency so precise it bent the known laws of thermodynamics. "Just one microprobe," Zyx pleaded, his form flickering with excitement. "We won't even touch the humans. Imagine the data." Zylaxians should have said no. He didn't. The moment the probe activated, everything changed. The human ship, silent for centuries, suddenly pulsed with life. Warning icons exploded across Zylaxians' screens. "What did you do?" Zylaxians' voice fractured into sharp, discordant tones. "And nothing. Maybe the probe's quantum signature interacted with their cryofield." Zyx's crystalline glow faded to near transparency. On the main display, stasis pods lit up one after another, like stars igniting across a dark sky. Thousands of them. The ship's systems, far from being obsolete, executed a flawless revival sequence, so fast Zylaxian sensors could barely track it. "Transmit to High Command." Zylaxians barked. "Code ultraviolet. Human reactivation in progress." The response was immediate. Within moments, their tiny science craft was encircled by a fleet of Zylaxian warships, crystalline hulls snapping into a containment formation. The High Commander herself appeared on the comms, her ancient form glowing a deep, furious violet. "You absolute neutron brain fools," she roared, using an insult older than warp travel. "They were supposed to sleep for another 1,000 years." "Perhaps we could," Zylaxians began. An alarm cut him off. The human ship's engines that should have been long dead, were roaring to life with frightening precision. Brainwave scans confirmed it. The humans weren't just awake. They were angry. The High Commander's voice dropped to a whisper. "Too late. May the first light protect us all. Chaos swept through the fleet as emergency protocols detonated into action. Evacuation drills initiated. Weapons primed. Yet in the middle of the storm, Zix leaned toward Zyth, and, in what would later be immortalized as the understatement of the millennium, muttered, "I'm guessing this won't look great on my performance review." Then it happened. The human ship's comm systems crackled online, broadcasting across every known frequency in a tongue no one had heard in centuries. The message was short, piercing, unmistakable. "Who dares disturb our slumber?" The Zylian diplomatic corps prided themselves on being the galaxy's master negotiators. They had ended wars before the first shot was fired, soothed genocidal empires into peace, and even once talked an AI hive mind out of converting an entire galaxy into paperclips. But they had never ever trained for an encounter with millions of irritable, recently awakened humans. Ambassador Crystal, her name chosen deliberately, as records suggested humans found literal translations oddly comforting, was assigned to lead the peace mission. Her form had been polished to an almost blinding perfection, refracting light into patterns mathematically calculated to be pleasing across 16 sentient species. "Remember," she told her team before boarding, "we must be diplomatic, deferential, and, above all, apologetic. We've interrupted their rest. It can't be that bad." It was worse. Much worse. The human ship permitted docking, a gesture the diplomats misread as goodwill. The instant they floated through the airlock, they were met by a cluster of humans wearing rumpled sleepwear, each gripping a steaming mug of a dark liquid that Zylian bioscanners instantly flagged as a probable chemical weapon. A tall human with hair in chaotic disarray stepped forward, eyes shadowed with exhaustion. "So, you're the ones who thought it'd be a great idea to wake up several million people before their alarm went off." Ambassador Crystal began her prepared apology, her crystalline facets shimmering with rehearsed sincerity. "Most esteemed humans, on behalf of the Galactic Alliance." "Save it, Sparkles," the human leader cut in, taking a slow sip of the bitter-smelling drink. "Do you have any idea how hard it is to get several million people to agree on a nap schedule? And you just wrecked it." The diplomatic team exchanged flickering glances. "This wasn't in any manual." "We are prepared to offer reparations," another diplomat stammered. "Comfort technology, dream enhancement devices." The human actually snorted. "You think a few fancy pillows will get us back to sleep? Once you're awake, you're awake. Trust me." From there, everything unraveled. The humans had grievances. Many grievances. And they were determined to air them. Loudly. The tipping point came when a human discovered that something called pizza had gone extinct during their slumber. The resulting meltdown shattered 3 junior diplomats and left another in a state of crystalline incoherence. "This is unprecedented," Ambassador Crystal whispered in a secure channel to High Command. "They're not attacking. They're not threatening war. They're just complaining. Endlessly." The situation worsened when the humans convened what they called a town hall, a gathering where millions of irritated people could simultaneously voice their displeasure. The very idea made seasoned diplomats shudder. Then came the breaking point. The humans learned their favorite entertainment platforms no longer existed. Phrases like Netflix and chill were hurled with increasing hostility. A new term, social media withdrawal, overloaded several translators, struggling to capture the full scope of despair. In a desperate last move, Ambassador Crystal offered them entire resort worlds, places to relax until they felt ready to return to sleep. The human leader's reply would become one of the shortest and most alarming rejections in recorded history. "Bold of you to assume we'll ever sleep again. Now about those extinct pizza recipes." The Galactic Alliance soon learned a grim truth. An awakened human with a grudge was bad enough. An awakened human with a grudge and no access to their favorite comfort foods was a cosmic disaster waiting to happen.